Hey guys, one of you had left some comments and I responded, and it was all about how does one make a base, basically. What's that whole thing mean? He was a relatively new player, but I find there's a lot of players that get up to 5Q or even higher and still have not a great understanding of strong groups and good bases and things like that. So we decided to get together and do a video on it where he's asking questions and I start answering them. And I was thinking that'd make a great video, and I believe it did. The problem is it didn't record well. There were problems. So I'm going to try to go over the questions he asked and kind of the path that happened for him. And we'll see if it still hits any of the good spots for helping people. Okay. So we started with we talked about stuff, and this was his test. I said, I'll come after you real crazy like, doing unreasonable things, and your job is to get healthy. And we use that as a way of getting definition. Okay, so turned him out. He fixed the cut this way. I come under. He ran out. You can see the path we haven't looked at yet where the answers were coming. I get the Atari. I play again. All of a sudden, black's base is getting like it doesn't exist, right? And white's getting the corner and all like that. He played away, and that was one rule. I said, when you think you're healthy, you've got to play away. So he plays away, at which point it's like, oh, I actually don't have any base, and there's uncomfortable cuts here, and it's not a great group. Okay, so we kind of went backwards. I said, well, first, you can fix here and take that move away. Then I said, when you fix here, it leaves a weakness that is presently about your base. So you can play this way. Now you're not cut, you're virtually alive in the corner already, and you're out to the center and the side, and white's quite weak and has none of those positives. So white settles, black settles, anything like that. Okay. And from here, he tried playing away. And I said, clearly you failed. Your job was to make this a strong group. It is not a strong group. And his first response, he's thinking about, well, I can just get out. Absolutely true. But it has no base. It has no substance. It has no strength. It's going to be a burden for the next 100 moves. It may not come into focus for over 100 moves, but it is weak and it will affect the game. Okay. We did that one. I said, here's another way to fix the cut. Remember, we started here, then we moved it to here, and I said, here's another way. Absolutely fixes the cut. That white stone dies, but it leaves a serious weakness. It's like, are you going to come back and fix now? If not, you still only have one eye. So it's not about can he cut me, but rather am I weak? And when black plays this move, he's still weak, which leaves us with this move. Okay, let's see if there's anything else here. I approach this way. I thought I'd come in, right? I'm testing what's on his mind. How can we get him to start understanding these things? He goes this way, which is fine, and settled. So we're not talking how efficient did he do it. The whole question was, did he end up with a very solid, steady group? Absolutely, he did. We played on a little further. You see, I'm trying to really press him, trying to find that thing he doesn't understand, which he's starting to quickly. His moves went from 30Q to 10Q in a matter of 15, 20 minutes. And then they went up to 1 dot. You'll see that in a minute. I couldn't believe it. So White's playing, this is irrational, but it sure brings up a lot of questions. Many players have a real hard time when their opponent plays irrational. What do you do when crazy hits you in the face? It's like, I don't know. And here was an example of all three are reasonable for Black to respond with. And we went with, this is the easiest direction, the biggest corner. Okay, I went again. Lots of things here. He decided, he just went with Atari. Okay, absolutely settled, out, no problems at all. I did an Atari. He should save because that white stone's still dead. He took it. That's fine. But the other one's better, but it's no big deal. That wasn't part of anything. And so that's when I played here. And I believe I think at that point he went away. That was the end of the variation. But he has a healthy group and he can play away. The idea of White coming in, that might have size, but it doesn't bother Black. It doesn't have anything to do with health, Black's health specifically. See if there's anything else here. Oh, apparently I did come in and we talked about different ways of surrounding. Yeah, and you're saying, well, why would you do that? I'm saying all I mean to show at the moment is you can attack White. Many ways to attack that wasn't even part of the question. Yeah, that you're just fine here. We looked at that, we looked at that, we looked at that. Said you can, if you wanted to, actually take the points here. At this point, it's not biggest, but you could certainly do it. That's, later on, this is a fine move. Okay, so that's a lot. Let me just check some other paths here. We looked at that one. We looked at that one. I think that's all of them. Yeah. Okay, so that was the two of us defining a base. And we defined it all about an area of control, of which White doesn't have this because that's White stone's dead. White doesn't have this because there's a Black stone at D18. So White has no base, Black has a good base. So we're defining base. Okay, so you can see the level he's playing at here, his level of understanding, his level of lack of understanding. So now let me bring up the second one. So I load it. Nope, that's the first one. Then we do this one. Okay, loaded private LGD. There you go. Take control, go back to the beginning, and now share the screen so you can see it. And there we are. Okay. So from there, I said, he had a list of questions, right? And he's asking them, and we're trying to answer them and trying to get clarity. And by the end of that, what was that? Let's say that was 20 minutes. Could have been 15. I don't think it was 25. Let's say 20. I said, great. Is it making sense? Said, well, yeah, great. Well, let's play a game where I play reasonable and see how you do. So here we go. He's Black. I'm White. Yep, all fine. Now, this move is not the best move. But it certainly is completely rational. Playing in a big area, settling your group, not a problem. I mean, a one don can easily play this, right? This is what a one don plays sometimes. Okay, we continue. There's questions like, which side should black come down? Well, that's for scholars and 12 dons, right? That's like, this doesn't matter. Just move forward. Okay, moving forward. Yep. And he played here because he had heard that the three in a row can get in trouble. And he looked, he did a little one move readout in his head, and he's like, yeah, my groups are getting separated. I don't have good shape, so we went four in a row. I thought that was fantastic. That's something few players miss all the time. Okay, next, reduce black. Now, let's look from white's perspective for a moment. If I come out saying I want these stones, this is my group, it's a heavy move. Now let's just spend a moment defining that. Light means you can give up one, two, or three of these stones. I don't care. Maybe I'll let you have this one. Oh, that's very good for me. Hey, I did great here. So light means you can give up parts. I mean, white can just walk away now and say, maybe I'll play here. Who knows what I'll play? So it's flexible. But when you play here, there's nothing to give up. Either the A group lives or it doesn't live. So it can come under serious attack. And in this shape, there's so many black stones around, I thought, well, certainly I need to play lightly. He comes straight up, perfectly fine. And now my first reaction was to play here, which is the correct move, the correct shape, or thereabouts. There's a couple ways of doing it. These are all fine. But I got caught up in funny reading. And I thought, I think I'm supposed to play here this time. This is not a good move. I'm, once again, heavy. But I'm thinking, oh, it'll be fine. He plays here. Shocker. Black B says, the cuts don't work. And you didn't get out with any speed at all. This move punishes me. I couldn't believe he punished me for my bad move. I couldn't believe my eyes. Now, he didn't understand it. He was just getting a sense, well, I'm not weak, you are. Therefore, I can play more, thinner moves. Wow, that's amazing. Comes out. I think I might have haunted there personally. I don't know. I get out. Here, I thought I had time to come in. There's room to live in there. Once white plays here, black is now a three in a row shape. So liberties get difficult, ladders, nets, everything starts falling apart. And he saw that, which I have a hard time believing. So we made it four in a row. Well, he did it this way, which actually isn't as good, but still it's it's completely rational. And now I'm thinking to myself, I can get out with A, there's a nice peep at B, I can make great shape at C, I should be fine now. So I found Sente. Although I definitely feel punished. He's still safe on the left, and his upper right corner is now, huge. I thought, well, let's start. Oh, I did this first, and then played away to there. Okay. Again, from white's perspective, assuming we're talking about the upper right, black's getting pretty gosh darn big up there. What we do is we ask, what are the tools available? Well, there's a cut, and there's a fair amount of space in area 1. There's not much space in area 2. And area 3 is wide open, but then he gets all of area 1. Okay, so I'm thinking of area 1 and the cuts at A and B. Now, if we just plop in a stone, we're just going to die. And there isn't room to live here. So if you want to invade, you do a forcing move. You get a free move. So for instance, if I were to play here, the idea is it's still white's move. Well, how can you say that? Because black is going to be responding, and I don't care if this stone lives or dies. It's simply a free move before I start thinking. When it comes to A and B, we know, well, the cut doesn't work, so we often see the peep. But something else we see is this move. It gives both cuts. So if black plays here, we cut in Sente. If black plays here, there's no ladder because of the Atari. So it's a standard spot. And I thought, well, I want to start here to see which way he's going to go. Then I'll play to the outside because I think he went the wrong way, although he's playing rational. The outside is where it's easier for me. He played nice and strong. I was glad to see that. And still, I'm not comfortable with this. I could still die here. So I then come and hit that spot. So I've got 3 free moves in a row. And that's often enough to, I mean, you play free moves until the path shows itself. He cuts. Atari. Start running out. We understand why he captured, and maybe it's correct. Because when white comes out, the top is one more move and it's dead. I mean, it's pretty bad. So capturing here was actually quite good. He played this. I couldn't believe how well he played for being brand new. So he takes. I come out. He comes out. I come out. He moves to the right. I couldn't believe it. Everyone knows you jump. Well, that's not true. You go in one direction, then you go in the other if you can. It gives a third dimension. You can kind of see 2 eyes already. Now, those aren't eyes yet, but you can see the eye shape building. And this adds total pressure against white. I would say this is absolute Sente. He asked about it. And so I showed him, the peep, and then the peep, and all of a sudden white is completely eyeless. I said, this can happen fast. And I told him throughout this whole thing, as we're doing this fight, my eyes are focused on the top. That's my danger. So I'm out, immediately come back, fix. He plays here. Now, I told him I thought that should be on the 4th line because it connects better. But still, the idea that when white plays here, it doesn't attack the A group. Well, if you're not attacked, why defend? That's kind of a premise. Well, if you're not going to defend the A stones, what should you do? How about playing a big area, the bottom, as we bother the black stones? Like, for instance, this move. We're helping the center as we bother white. Helping the center as we bother white. This is what I would have played. I like this relationship. I think those 2 stones are going to work together well. He plays here. Certainly works. I come down because my A group is not settled. So I get some strength there. He takes this stone. First move of the game where he's playing his old self, right? This means nothing or very little. I mean, what it does mean, oh, that's kind of big. Well, in double gote, yeah, double gote is so small. So he saw the size and went for it, but it's not biggest, of course. I take care of this. Black comes up. Okay, so white's ahead, but black isn't doing badly at all. I mean, at all. I was just so impressed. So what this whole game, I'm trying to apply pressure on him, and I'm not doing much because he's playing strong. So I thought, this is my last time, my last opportunity to press the A group. So get aggressive. Oh, I did this first. Okay. Get aggressive. Try to cut the two groups apart. Tare. Oh, do you see it coming? I'm surrounding his center group. See how you can aim somewhere and all of a sudden weakness shows up. I completely expect him to do something to help A hurt B, right? Because Q players get sidetracked. But instead, he played here. I couldn't believe my eyes. He said, you go ahead and win that battle. I'm keeping my eye on the goal, which is to get these two groups in the center together and working as one unit so I'm healthy. I was flabbergasted. Big word there, flabbergasted, that he came up with that. And we stopped there. He totally was getting the whole concept and applying it. Couldn't believe my eyes. Okay, so too bad that I missed our first opportunity, the actual recording, but hopefully I brought out some of the things he was learning. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. Catch y'all later.